Morning everyone. It's just a bit of a weird video about just general bits and pieces and things that are kind of going on at the moment. And to be honest, this is probably one is a little bit of an admission, and two, some stuff about the clutch. Because a couple of people, well, especially one guy I know on the Z1000 forum who's been actually just working on upgrading his clutch at the moment. Get going. Who's upgrading his clutch at the moment has had a lot of problems doing his clutch. Now, I was amazingly lucky to be able to just stick the whole clutch assembly in, because I got the whole clutch assembly, as I've said before, and just literally just took the entire basket out, everything, whole shooting match, and just put the other one in, and it just worked. So obviously I've put up sort of some videos on here, and also I've done some stuff on the Z1000 UK forum about how easy it was, because it was very easy for me. But other people haven't been as lucky, especially one guy I'm chatting with at the moment who's had no end of problems. So the first things to know are, and these are things that he's told me because he's gone through all of these issues, is the first and foremost, if you're going to do your non-slipper clutch, you must use 2016 parts. I think when he ordered his clutch basket, he went straight for a 2017 version, and if I was going to be doing that as well, I would have probably done the same thing and just think, well, I may as well go and get the newest. But apparently it is the 2016 version slipper clutch that goes in here. So obviously I can only presume that mine came from a 2016 version, but as soon as I got the whole assembly, I probably, or maybe the entire assembly from a newer bike again, say for example a 2018 Z1000R, if you got the entire assembly, then it might and probably would just bolt straight in. I don't know, because obviously that's what I got. But just listening to one of the other guys that was chatting with at the moment, now he's actually, as of this morning, because he's messaged me, he's got everything's in, it's all connected up and working, but he's getting some clutch slip at the moment. So I've replied back to him and said I think that could be maybe stack height might be the issue, but he's not come back yet. So that was the first thing. The second thing is something that when I sort of said that, because my bike's been ECU mapped, and one of the things that I said when I was giving the explanation of what had been done in the ECU was that the dyno guy said to me, oh, he was talking about primary and secondary injectors, and obviously I've just parroted that off because that's what he's told me. But one guy actually messaged me on YouTube and said, well, we've only got one set of injectors, and I thought, oh shit, okay, fair enough. And while I was thinking about it, I've just been going through the specs and the wiring diagrams, and yes, we only have one set of injectors. So I don't know if the dyno guy was perceiving something else from when he was doing the tuning, but I mean, at the end of the day, it made a load more power. So that was just one of the things to say, that I was probably wrong on, well, I am wrong on that, because that's what I was told. But he might have been, because he was just mapping it, he didn't have the tank off or anything like that, so he might have just seen something else when he was mapping it. So it was just to say, that's if I've said that, then that is wrong. So there you go. So that's that. So that's all I've kind of got to say on the Z1000 front. But I've got a kind of few other jobs that I'm doing at the moment as well. This is my dad's 404, which looks exactly the same as it did probably 2 or 3 months ago. So that I've been to this place to have. There we go. Let's have a look at them. It's called Fill Pots, and this is the fork tubes from my dad's 40-year-old, very corroded CB 404, and they've done this thing called a fork regrind. So they've actually reground and redone the forks. So they look absolutely like brand new, which is really, really nice. So after 3 months of throwing money at my dad's frame and forks, I'm actually in a position to probably start building something soon. So that's one job that I've been doing. Well, I say I will be doing. So I'll put those back up there. Another thing that I've learned how to do is Scotch Brighten. So these are the hubs from my dad's bike, which are all corroded and chalky and what have you, because they're alloy. So that's the Scotch Brighted hubs. I've got some more polishing to do on the weekend, then they've got to go away to be to be lacquered. So they're going to be lacquered, and I've got some stainless steel rims to go on there. Then I can start building the wheels. I've also been doing some maintenance on the RSV. Again, it's been quite a productive few weeks, to be honest. So the RSV used to have obviously standard headlights, and then quite a few years back I changed it to what's called, you know, the HID headlights, but they come with a ballast, and all of this here, all of that in there and all of that there, I had to hide on the front of the RSV, which took me absolutely hours. I think it took me about 4 or 5 hours to actually get everything hidden away. But with the advent of LED lights, I've now taken the entire front off and refitted it with LED lights, which are absolutely amazing. They're really, really good. But one thing that happened is obviously the time that it had standard lights, and then I don't know if it was to do with the HIDs getting as hot, but this is the old headlight. I've changed the headlight because a friend of mine had a spare one. Well, not a spare one, he had one for sale, which was literally brand new. And if you look inside there, that's the old headlight. And you can see all the brown marks in there that you've got at the top, and then down the bottom you can see that there. It's where they've all been burnt. So, and apparently this is a normal thing on RSVs. So I've got an entire headlight. I'll probably put it back on eBay if someone might want it, if they're repairing a busted bike or putting a track bike back on the road or something like that. So I've changed it for these now LEDs. So I'll show you how bright they are. They're incredibly bright. So if I'll have to obviously power the bike up. Or start it, should I say, power it up. It's not a computer. So here's the lights. They're pretty good. A lot of noise though. I'll probably make my speaker start crackling, but here you go. So yeah, they are incredibly bright. Now I think they actually run very cool as well, and they're very easy to fit. They're essentially like the HID light, but a lot more compressed. The ballast is half the size. The wiring loom, well, there is no wiring loom. They're just in line with the plug. So it was actually only took about 20 minutes to get the nose back onto it. I've changed the forks now as well, so now it's got Nix 30s on it. Of which they've not been sort of tuned up properly. I think I've got the sag almost about right, but I need to go and have the suspension set up by someone who probably knows a lot more than me, although I am still trying to learn about it myself. So and then Sunday we're going out for a ride for the first time since last September, so I've got a USB thing to fit as well, which is that's gonna be fun. But the idea is to get that in the cockpit somewhere, probably around here on the side, so I can just plug in while if we're using the mapping. Obviously, when you've got your phone on, you're using the map, it just burns through the battery. So the idea is just have a little USB in there, just to when the maps, when the map things and wherever it is. I don't know where I'm going to put it actually. Saying that, anyway. So there you go. So that's the whole deal with the RSV, general maintenance. Oh, it's had a new chain as well, so I've got a nice Renthal chain set on it. There you go, which is very nice. The old chain, although it hadn't hooked over that much, it was it just stretched massively. But now it's yeah, very nice, very nice. But as I say, it's all coming apart again to try and fit that the USB thingy. So there we go. No real work on the Hyper because I haven't really had to do anything to it because it just works. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. They're all brilliant. That's why I got them. But anyway, it was more really just the update about the Z, just to say that if you do have any problems with the clutch, my perceptions were all very simple and it was a dead easy fit, but other people's haven't been. And it was really just more to say that. So there you go. All right. Cheers.